8, Lawndale. All right, I'll meet you and Mr. Kendall out there tomorrow evening at 7:30.
We'll be looking for you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Say, Jack. So what is it?
Did you sell her a new range?
Oh, no, I haven't got the order yet. But I'll eat your hat on the corner of 3rd and Main if I don't get it tomorrow night. I got a date to show him where a range should go in a planned kitchen.
Did you use the 5-step selling plan? Prospect, set the pace?
I sure did.
And it worked, eh?
Like a charm.
Tell us about it.
Well, she came in about a half an hour ago. And, how do you do?
I'd like to look at an electric range.
Well, surely this is one of our new models. By the way, do you cook electrically now?
Yes, there's an electric range in our apartment.
See? That was the first move, to classify the prospect. When I asked her if she was cooking electrically now, I was really asking her what product she was using. When she told me there was an electric range in her apartment, I decided to get some more information. That sounds like maybe you're moving.
We're moving into our new house next week.
Oh, I see. Because you realize the advantages of cooking electrically, you decided to have an electric range for your new home? Is that it?
You couldn't hire me to cook any other way.
I'm not surprised to hear you say that. But I'd like to take a minute or two to explain some of the improvements that have been made in electric ranges. To make them cook better, and to make them easier to operate. For example, let me ask you your family's favorite food. And that was the next move, to find a specific interest. My plan for doing that is to ask the family's favorite food. No matter what the prospect answers, a food cooked on the surface or one cooked in the oven. Either way, I have a good starting point for making my sales presentation.
It's a little difficult to name any particular food as our special favorite, but we do eat a great many fresh vegetables.
Well, you'll never go wrong like that. There's a lot of help in fresh vegetables when they're cooked electrically, using little or no water. But let me show you how much easier and how much quicker you can cook them on the new improved surface unit. When this picture was taken, they were cooking potatoes. You can see how little water was used, not more than half a cup. And to cook vegetables, all you do is turn the switch to high, like this. And in 5 minutes or less, the vegetables come to a steam. That's because the new famous Westinghouse Clorox unit is 30% faster than ever before. The second step of the selling plan is to make the sales presentation according to the prospect's interest. I figure the best way to do that is to explain the product in terms of her interest. That's why I started in by explaining the Clorox unit in terms of vegetable cooking. Then I went on from there. Now, one of the reasons why this Clorox unit is so fast is because it's made of a new metal called silcolloid, which is an extremely fast conductor of heat. The tops of these coils are flattened, so they're more in contact with the bottoms of the cooking utensils. And this unit will stay fast. Stay fast because the coils are double locked in position to keep them level. That's why you can be sure this new Clorox unit will bring your vegetables to a steam just as quickly years from now as it will today, in 5 minutes or less. Once the vegetables come to a steam, you turn the switch to the simmer position. In 25 minutes, the vegetables are completely cooked, and there's no chance for scorching. That's because of the even heat that comes from the complete surface of the unit. And yet in the simmer position, you use only 80 watts, less than is used in the average kitchen light bulb. Of course, you may not be interested in economy of operation, or are you?
I certainly am.
When I ask about economy of operation, I was carrying out the rest of my idea about making the sales presentation according to the prospect's interest. That is to reclassify as you go and listen. When she answered my question about economy by saying, "I certainly am," I was pretty sure I was on the right track, so I went right ahead. These units were tested by cooking the meals for a week's menu on them, and it was discovered that the new Westinghouse 5-speed Clorox unit uses 22% less current than ever before, and has exactly the required heat for every cooking operation. To make this range easier to operate, the switches and the unit have matched numbers, so that you always know which unit is turned on and at what cooking speed. Now let me show you how easy it is to clean the new Clorox unit. All you do is lift it up. But here, you do it.
Like this?
That's right. Now place it on the platform's edge and merely slip out the pan.
Oh, that's easy.
If there are any spillovers, they'll be caught in the pan. You can clean it easily with a damp cloth or wash it like you would any other pan. Oh, and while the unit's in that position, it's also easy to clean out the rim. Then you merely slip the pan back in position.
There's no work to that.
Say, pardon me a minute, will you, Jack?
Sure, what is it?
I noticed you asked Mrs. Kendall to demonstrate to herself how easy it is to clean the new Clorox unit.
That's right. I always do that when I can.
Even with the oven?
With anything. When a prospect does it herself, she understands it.
Well, that makes sense, all right. But now to get back to the 5-step plan of selling. Judging from what you've told us so far, you must think it's okay. Good luck to you in making the sale tomorrow night.
That offer about eating your hat on the corner of 3rd and Main still goes if I don't get it. Hey, Jack, you got a minute? Looks like my dear friend, Mr. Bill Tracy's got something on his mind. Well, what's on your mind, if anything?
Oh, you always have to have your little joke, don't you? Oh, well, I always say there's nothing like a good sense of humor. Here, have a cigar.
What's the matter with it?
Nothing, it's all right. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks.
By the way, how have you been getting along lately?
Okay, why?
Well, I've been working on a plan of selling I thought you might like to see. Maybe it'll give you a few ideas. Or maybe you could add a few ideas.
And I suppose you worked this out all by your itsy-bitsy own thumb, huh?
Well, part of it.
Yeah, I thought so.
Well, the point is this, Jack. I thought maybe if you liked the plan, we could sort of, well, try it out. Maybe try it out on each other. Look, you'll be a prospect, and I'll show you what I mean.
Well, all right. Here I come.
How do you do?
Could I look at an electric range?
Why, certainly. Step right over this way, please. By the way, dearie, can you cook?
All right, you can work out this plane yourself, right?
Oh, now, wait a minute, Jack. I'm only kidding. I want to ask you a couple of questions. Here, look.
It can't be true. It simply can't be true. The day of miracles has come to pass when you two monkeys can keep so close together without trying to kick each other in the shins.
Ah, Mary, all's been forgiven. You see, standing before you a new man, a man with a plan. Why, in days to come, I'll be known as a wonder boy of the Fearless Appliance Company. Bill Tracy, the man with a never-missed plan. All I ask is a prospect, a nice, fresh prospect. Won't somebody please send me a prospect?
Pardon me. I'd like to look at a domestic range.
Range?
Yes, a range. You sell them, don't you?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course we sell ranges. Step over this way, please.
I bought some toys for my nephew, and I want to rewrap them. I've got a toy here that moves like a cow when you turn it over, and a little cash register that really rings.
Now, here's a lovely range. A real value with 3 surface units, a deep well cooker, and the true temp oven. I can make you a real price on it. By the way, do you cook electrically now?
No.
Well, then I'd like to take a minute or two and explain why so many women are switching to electric cooking. For one thing, electric cooking makes food taste better.
Well, I don't have much trouble cooking for my family.
Well, that's fine. May I ask your family's favorite food?
Oh, I don't know. They seem to like everything.
Well, it must be very gratifying to cook for a family like that. But at the same time, I can see where it's a pretty big job. And that brings us to another reason why so many women have switched to electric cooking. It's easier, less work.
Mm-hmm.
Less work in cooking and less work in the kitchen. That's because electric cooking is cleaner. The walls and curtains stay cleaner, and there's no scrubbing of pots and pans.
Is it really so much cleaner?
That was a tough prospect to classify. But I think he found an interest when he told her it was cleaner.
Hey, what is all this anyway?
A little selling plan we had. You make your sales presentation according to the prospect's interest, like he's doing now, by telling her how and why electric cooking will keep her kitchen cleaner. Next, he'll go into the product. And if he follows this plan, he'll make the sale.
or I'll eat your hat on the corner of 3rd and Main. Now, let's suppose we were getting a meal. Most meals start around the meat course, so suppose we start with that.
But my family likes a good roast, all right.
Good. And you can see there's plenty of room in the Westinghouse True Temp oven for a good size one. As a matter of fact, it's large enough to hold a 32-pound turkey. These new models have 10% more room than ever before. Well, I suppose you've noticed I've been careful to call this the Westinghouse True Temp oven. Well, there's a reason for that. It has balanced heat. Let me show you why. There are 2 speed heaters in this oven. Heat comes down from the top to meet heat coming up from the bottom. This shows you how the food is surrounded by even temperature, and that means good results. The heat flow in this oven is controlled by a new scientifically designed heat evener, and that assures perfect baking results. That heat flow is so actively controlled that while this oven uses less current, it's faster. It will preheat to 400 degrees in 8 minutes, and it's economical. A thick blanket of insulation surrounds the oven and overlaps on top. That's to hold in the heat. Now, for average baking and roasting, this oven uses current only about 9 minutes out of the hour. Now, let me show you how easy it is to operate. This single dial control turns the oven on and sets it to any temperature you wish with just the one operation.
Well, that's easier to use than the oven of the stove I have now. Well, she certainly seems interested, all right.
You're doggone whistling she's interested. Now, if he doesn't make that sale, I'll eat your...
I know. You'll eat your hat at the corner of 3rd and Main.
Well, I will. Well, you won't. If Bill doesn't make that sale, I'll eat his hat. And everyone else from the corner of 3rd and Main to the corner of 33rd and Main.
Careful,